This one is called Giant Siberian Pink, or sometimes I see the name online being Siberian Giant Pink. I'm just gonna call it Giant Siberian Pink. This is a massive beefsteak tomato. I decided to try growing this one because I was looking for a pink colored beefsteak tomato. And what makes this a pink tomato is that the skin is actually clear while the inside flesh is red. So it kind of gives the skin an outside appearance of being like a pinky color as opposed to like a deep, rich crimson kind of red. So that's why these are called pink tomatoes. So I just so happened to select this one because it just looked good, and I'm so glad I chose it. This turns out to be kind of a rare tomato, and it produced so well for me. Like, I am so impressed. I grow hundreds of tomatoes, and so when I tell you guys that I am blown away by a particular variety, pay attention. This Giant Siberian Pink produced loads and loads of these big giant beefsteak tomatoes, which is kind of not the norm for the beefsteaks because they have to gather a lot of energy from the sun, nutrients from the soil, things like that to output big sized tomatoes like this, but these plants are pumping them like nothing. And usually with the beefsteaks, the first couple will be really big like this, and then the subsequent tomatoes are smaller in size, but no, this plant, every single one of them are really big in size. I've harvested 5 of them today because they were ready, but I counted 12 more big ones on the plant that are still ripening up. That's a lot of beefsteak tomatoes at one time on the same plant. So very, very impressed. I will probably be growing this one every single season. And if you want to try growing any of the tomatoes that I mentioned here, I do save the seeds and I sell them on my website so you can find the same ones. So just to show you, this one started blushing. It's like a light pink color. This one is a little bit more ripened, so it's a darker kind of pink color, but just really heavy, massive tomatoes. And I have never tried this one before. This is the first time I'm growing it, so I'm super excited to slice into it. Let me slice into this one. All right, so here goes. Very juicy. I just see all the juices running out, and man, this is a meaty tomato. It looks great. This is what you want to see when you're looking for a tomato that's good for sandwiches. Very good flavor. Right off the bat, it's very savory. It has that tomato acidity to it. This is great. I am very impressed by this one. I've kind of had the same like top 3 or 5 tomatoes for a couple years now, but this one definitely is gonna join the ranks. And if you didn't know, I am in Florida. So my garden is in Florida. We have a very high disease and pest pressure. So when I tell you that a tomato grew very successfully in my garden, that means it tolerated a lot of extreme conditions. So if it does well in my garden, I can't even imagine how well it will do in your garden or someone else's garden that maybe has more temperate or consistent type of weather conditions, because that's what tomatoes like.